Hi, welcome to my channel. Today's video, the truth about manifesting a specific person. The truth as I see it, what I really think about it, and how I can hopefully help you if you are feeling sick and tired of it. If you've been manifesting on and off or constantly, and you are not seeing the signs of anything in the 3D moving in the direction that you want, we're going to talk about that and why that is and what you can do about that. I wrote a book, Get Back With Your Ex, and it has had loads of good feedback. It's got mostly really great feedback, but I did go through a stage of almost feeling a bit of regret for thinking, should I take it down? Because I didn't want to just get known as this person that talked about specific person manifestation. I went through a stage of talking about it a lot, and then I see there's so much of it online. I can see how in some ways it can have a really detrimental effect on people. If you're an overthinker, for example, if you suffer with anxious attachment, that kind of thing. So I went through a phase of thinking, but now I'm back. I have the love for it back again. So this is not a negative video in any way about, why you shouldn't manifest a specific person. That's what not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is this: be realistic about it. And there's a lot online that isn't realistic. Affirm, affirm, and affirm. And if you're moaning that it hasn't come into your life, then you are not doing it right. You are not persisting. You are not sticking at it. And personally, I hate all that stuff. I really do. Because whilst you are persisting in the manifestation, so bringing this person into your life, you're not living your life. You're not living your best life because you're too busy trying to drag the life that you want to you when you don't have to do that. It's so completely unnecessary. And you can put things off. You can actually end up getting stuck in this cycle of manifesting where that person could have showed up in your life way before if you hadn't gone down this path. I do like the idea of persisting in the idea of something. So persisting in the idea that this is possible for me to have this. Absolutely, because that reality actually already exists for me. I just need to slip into it. But how can you slip into something when you are busy forcing affirmations and trying to force it into your life? You're not allowing yourself to experience it. You're actually stopping yourself from experiencing it. Not in all cases. So let's just clear this up before we start. If you have come at this and so say you're new to this and you've just come and you've listened to me and you get really deflated and disappointed, well, you're new to it, so you haven't gone through that stage, so maybe you won't, and maybe you will enjoy affirmations. If you say affirmations and you enjoy saying them, or you feel at least neutral, they don't bother you, you just see them as an aid to manifest what you want, that's absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But what can happen with affirmations for a person, I'm not talking about anything else, but for a person, you can really feel hyper aware of the fact that you don't have them in your life. So you are consciously aware of that all day long. Whereas if you were just getting on with your life, you wouldn't be. You would then find that you've watched a show on TV and you haven't thought about them for the whole time. They haven't been in your mind, or you've been out with friends and they haven't been in your conscious awareness. But once you start affirming, your brain clings on to those affirmations and it goes, oh, right, I need to affirm to get this. So even when you're not affirming, so when you're out with your friends, you're busy thinking about your affirmations still. So you're still consciously aware that they're not here. So when you are consciously aware of something not being here, what you are doing is kicking in the Zeno effect in quantum. That is the observation theory, the observation effect, rather, it's not theory, the observation effect. So whilst you are observing the condition of something as it is, really observing it, so that's feeling it as it is, you can't change it. You cannot change the condition of something whilst you are observing it in quantum. So you need to look away. And you look away by practicing detachment. And the only way really to practice detachment is by not trying so damned hard to bring this person into your life. You cannot practice detachment whilst you are affirming and and here's the funny thing, here's the rub. You can be detached and affirm if you're that type of person. Now, some people love affirmations and they only use affirmations and they've changed their life with affirmations. But that's because whilst they're doing them, they're feeling really good. They're tapping into the feeling of having it. Whether they know it or not, they're feeling good. So they are tapping into the feeling of it and then it's showing up in their lives. Now, that's a small percentage of people, I believe, because I've spoken to a bloody lot of people over the last 3 years. And I would say 80% of people aren't that way inclined. 80% of people start feeling like they don't have it, and affirmations become a chore and like hard work. And when that's the case, they're never going to work, because they're only a placebo anyway. Everything is a placebo. So if you are trying hard at something, putting in effort to get something, and it's feeling like a chore, feeling like hard work, then it's not going to happen. It's the backwards law. The more you want something, the further away it pulls, and actually you start even seeing the opposite of those things that you want. You might want somebody back in your life, and you've split up with somebody, for example, and you're saying affirmations and you're feeling quite good, but you're constantly observing what's going on. So observing their social media, maybe observing what they're doing, observing how you're feeling and that you're feeling the lack of it. You are in constant observation mode of the 3D as it is. Then you might find that they start seeing someone else. They get back with their ex from a few times ago or something, and you think, what the hell? This is exactly the opposite of what I want. How the hell is this happening? It's happening because of this observer effect, and because of the feeling like you don't have it. Reality is then going to show you more of, I don't have this. So if they're seeing somebody else, then you bloody well definitely don't have this, do you? So reality is going, oh, okay, I'm going to really show you this. It won't last, that relationship, because at some point you are going to release. You are going to release and detach more, and then something's going to happen with them. But in this meantime, whilst you are constantly observing reality as it is, you could possibly see nothing, but sometimes 50% of the time people start seeing really the actual opposite of what they've been affirming for and thinking about and wanting, because they are in constant observation mode of the 3D as it is now, with this person not in it. So they're going to see more evidence of that, because reality is reading you, is reading everything you do. Think of the world as code. I once watched a documentary, it was about extraordinary people. It was nothing to do with this. One guy there, he was only about 18, and he saw everything in code. He saw buildings in code, he saw people in code, and he just thought everybody saw that. And when he discovered at some point in his life that people don't see like that, he couldn't believe it. He couldn't imagine how other people could see things. So that made me think, wow, that's really intriguing, isn't it? That was he seeing what really is? So if you start thinking of yourself as code, and every feeling you have as a bit of code, and it's a vibration, it's a frequency, and it is code, and it's being read, so it's being shown to you, because it has to be shown to you. The code that you are producing has to be shown back to you. That is the way I see specific person manifestation. You can get caught in this whole cycle, and it all becomes about the manifestation of them. Your whole life becomes about manifesting this person, and life is more than that. And you will be missing other chances. You will be missing out on other things in life because of this. Everything else will lose its significance. So this will be all consuming, and other things will lose their significance and lose their kind of vibrancy, because you are so fixated on this one thing. So that's my take on it. So I'm not saying don't manifest a specific person. I'm saying don't put effort into it. I'm saying intend it. What do you really like about this person? How do you want to feel when you're around this person? So that is how you want them to be, basically. But we're not calling it how do I want them to be. We're saying how do I want to feel when I am in their presence, when I'm in their company. How would I like to feel? Because it's all about you and how you feel. How they are is kind of irrelevant, isn't it? If you're not feeling good, how do I want to feel? Do I still want this? Yeah, I still want it. Can I put any more effort into it? No, because it won't change anything. It absolutely won't change anything. The more effort you put in, the less you're going to see. So you need to stop and release on it and go, okay, reality is what it is now. 3D is what it is. I'm just going to accept that for now, knowing that it can change. It could change in a heartbeat, or it could change in a couple of weeks, it could change in a couple of months. But if I carrying on like this, then I'm going to put it off, and I'm going to move it further and further down my timeline. It's going to shift with all of this trying. I'm going to just not experience it as quickly as I could if I just started not paying it so much attention, paying other things more attention, paying myself more attention, looking after myself, not doing this to myself, because doing this to me is, why would I punish myself like that? I'm going to stop punishing myself. A good way to start is to just say, I'm going to have 2 weeks break from this, 2 weeks break from anything, from manifesting. I'm going to not watch videos, I'm not going to read books, I'm going to just do life for the next 2 weeks and see how I feel at the end of that 2 weeks, see if I've released a little bit. So before you start, go scale of 1 to 10. How attached am I to this outcome at the moment? You might be an 8. Okay, well, I'm going to take a 2-week break and then I'm going to measure myself again on the scale to see if I've shifted. And you probably might have only come down 1 to a 7, but if you've come down, awesome. Okay, I've come down a little bit. Okay, so that's showing to me that actually I've been doing too much. I need to do less. I need to enjoy life more as it is, throw myself into things, even if it's just the little things, and put myself first, put my well-being first, and take them off the pedestal. And that's how you start doing that. Whilst you're trying to force them to your level, bring them down from that pedestal, you've made them more important than you, and you've made your life all about them, when your life is so much more than that, so much more than one person. People can be great, and yes, we can have a real chemistry with some people, and we can think, oh my God, I'm never going to have this with anybody else. But that's not true for a start, absolutely not true. And secondly, yeah, you might have that with them when you're with them, but at the moment you're not with them. So how can you make your life richer in the time when you're not with them? And just allow things to unfold. And you can't let things unfold where you're constantly messing with the middle. You've already set your intention. You already know that you want to be with them. You don't need to do anything else. Affirmations, when you're feeling a lack, will only lead to more of that feeling of lack and just make you feel rubbish. And again, especially if you suffer with anxiety, overthinking, OCD, any of those things, this is going to make it worse. So don't put yourself through that. Put your mental health first. Put yourself first, and you being the best version of you that you can be. And you can't do that whilst you're putting all of your energy into manifesting them. Right, I'm going to stop there. Okay, I really hope that this was useful.